And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. It is a boiling hot Friday as inflation just came in higher than expected, 8.6%, the highest reading. And not only are we going to go over Bitcoin's price action, some crypto news, but I do want to touch base on what I think price action will do over the weekend, because I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, hey, what is Bitcoin going to do after this little dump on Friday going into the weekend? So first things first, let's jump into the news side of things. And yep, I'm going to cover that in inflation article. It says inflation rose 8.6% in May, highest since 1981. The consumer price index rose 8.6% in May from a year ago, the highest increase in December since December of 1981. Core inflation, excluding food and energy, rose 6%. Both were higher than expected. Surging food, gas, and energy prices all contributed to the gain, with fuel oil up 106% this year. That's pretty too bad if you don't drive an electric vehicle. Shelter costs, which comprise about 1/3 of the CPI, rose at the fastest 12-month pace in 31 years, and the rise in inflation meant workers lost more ground in May, while with real wages declining 0.6% from April and 3% on a 12-month basis. So we'll leave a link in the description below there. Higher inflation, we've been saying it, if it came in hotter than expected, probably stocks would go down and Bitcoin would go down. Vice versa, if inflation came in lower than expected, so they were expecting 8.2%, we came in at 8.6%. Inflation is not coming down, and now they're talking about the Fed, instead of doing a 0.5% rate hike, are they going to do a 0.75 or a full point hike? They have to put a dent in inflation at some point. So what else do we have on the news? The news tab today. Okay, UFC taps VECHAIN as first official layer 1 blockchain partner. The multi-year deal was reportedly worth $100 million. So VECHAIN has signed on to be the first official layer 1 or base layer blockchain partner for mixed martial arts organization UFC. According to the announcement posted, the partnership includes a variety of integrations into the UFC live events and original content for its digital and social media channels starting Saturday, June 11th. So that's going to be starting tomorrow. It says Sports Business Journal sources said the deal was worth nearly $100 million across a minimum 5-year deal. CoinDesk reached out to VECHAIN to comment, but hadn't received any response by press time. VECHAIN's V token has moved modestly higher with the news, up 2.5% or 2.4%. So sorry for VECHAIN if you're having your positive news on the day where the market is kind of melting down. NASDAQ down 3%, S&P down 2%, Bitcoin down 3%, and Ethereum's down 6% today. So a bit of a chin check for Mr. Crypto, and I imagine VECHAIN will not be able to hold up. I wonder what the symbol is on VECHAIN. Let's check it out here. VECHAIN. Let's check it out here. What is VECHAIN doing? VECHAIN looks like Bitcoin. Putting a little bounce here on the shorter term time frames, but a big red candle for the day. It looks like a bearish engulfing, could close anywhere below 2.299, and that would do it. Probably good enough for me for some more downside action on Mr. VECHAIN. All right, next article. Tether deploys new USD token on the TEZOS blockchain. Yes, love to hear some good news about TEZOS. This asset will also be available on 12 other networks, including Ethereum, Solana, Polkadot, among others. It says the leading cryptocurrency stablecoin Tether has announced the launch of a new asset, Tether USDT. tokens built on the TEZOS blockchain and with the ambition of expanding its digital footprint across the digital payments and decentralized finance sector. So taking a big risk, right? Coming out with a stable coin, just as we had the big Luna debacle, the big breakdown from Luna, and now Tezos wants to flex and say, hey, despite them, we're going to go ahead and do it right. We're going to come out with our own stable coin. It says, quote, Tether tokens are not an investment, but are a utility for engaging in internet commerce, combating volatility and providing a safe haven for remittances. Tether tokens can be securely stored, sent, and received across the blockchain and are redeemable for the underlying asset subject to the terms of service and fee schedule. So, again, big announcement, Tether on Tezos, USDT. That's exciting. I'm personally a fan of Tether. I think they are going to be here for the long haul. Last piece of news here. Oh, Citadel. They're the ones that, some are claiming they might have had a hand in the failure of good old Luna coin. So, Citadel Securities is building a crypto trading marketplace with Virtue Financial Sources. The effort includes Citadel's recent VC backers, Sequoia and Paradigm, two big, good companies, with more trading firms to come, according to the source familiar with the plan. So, Citadel Securities is building a cryptocurrency trading ecosystem with the help of high-frequency trading and market-making firm Virtue Financial, as well as venture capital firms such as Sequoia Capital and Paradigm. According to the source familiar with the plan, Citadel Securities is the sister company to the hedge fund giant Citadel. So it sounds like they're coming out with their own exchange, some trading platform via Citadel. So essentially it's like Fidelity's coming out with their own new crypto trading platform. Why don't you jump on? Except for Citadel has been kind of in the shady news light as of late. I can't confirm or deny any of those allegations. But let's jump into Bitcoin's price action. Pretty interesting day today. With the announcement that inflation was higher than expected, immediately the market sold off. And in fact, it seemed like somebody knew inflation was coming higher than expected yesterday, because NASDAQ sold off yesterday, giving us a big warning. This great, nice, red candle yesterday with volume to the downside, giving us a shot back to the bottom side of the range, alongside Bitcoin doing the same thing, right? We're getting back to the bottom side of the daily range here, which is coming down around 29,000 there. So, what I am looking at right now is a couple of things, and volatility is low, relatively speaking, on the spot price action for Bitcoin. However, the CME spot price action, CMEs, Bitcoin CMEs, BBDWP is still relatively low and looking to expand here. Not giving me that reading above 20 percentile, which is typically what I like to see for me to declare, move is in motion, but, close enough is close enough. And with the bad news coming in from this morning, higher inflation, a lot of the big tech stocks, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, Microsoft, all selling off pretty hard. Tech is selling off, and that leads me to believe, so on the 4-hour time frame, we're going to cross back up above 11,913. So, are we in for a bounce? I mean, what's the measure move off of this falling channel here? We got below there. I mean, it looks like we want to come down at least. We might consolidate here for a moment over the weekend, and then, bring it on to the downside coming into next week. I don't really trust the price action over the weekend. Bitcoin in particular seems to get a lot of a floaty, flighty type of moves, but My overall feeling right now is most people are not going to be seeing or waking up to the crisis in the financial markets until this weekend. They read the news and they probably de-risk a little bit more, de-risk a little bit more. And the measure move on this descending, is this a ascending or descending triangle? It is an ascending triangle, which has a typical breakout at 75%. And we officially broke it on the 4-hour, and we are going to break it on the day here with any kind of a closure below that pivot right there, that wick low. So with the daily closure below 29,308 on spot price, I am looking for the bottom side of the range to get tested, probably around 28,000, and with a small bounce, and then probably progression over time down to about 27,000. I don't think we have enough momentum in the market right now to completely earth shatter this thing to the downside and hit those lower targets like 20,000 bucks. I don't think we're there yet. Daily momentum is crossed to the downside, rejecting the bearish control zone, the bullish control zone. And that's on spot price action. What are we doing on CMEs? Are crossed down doing the same thing. And all we want to do is see volume pour in here and a closure. We got a daily closure coming up here in 19 minutes below this wick low. Hey, close enough is close enough. That's the great old saying. We're pretty close. So we got another 18 minutes. And what is the week going to turn out like? The weekly close, kind of a bearish engulfing candle here. That's just really, pinned for some more downwards price action, right? We had like 9 straight weeks of down, and now we get one little bounce last week, and the market is looking pretty, weak to the downside. What else do I want to check in on? Some of our other coins. Do I want to take a look at Ethereum? So Ethereum looks like it wants to come down to that target. Minimum going to get a move down to 1,500 bucks. And I do believe we did talk about this on the daily time frame. And we were looking for, so volatility is expanding. Momentum is crossed down. And with this descending triangle right here, see descending, ascending. Bitcoin dominance shooting up to about 47%. And I guess we can do a measure move on this target here and say, okay, Ethereum, what are you going to do? Where's your measure move to the downside? $14.63 on that ascending triangle. That's on a daily time frame. The 4-hour did just close below with volume. Volatility is increasing. So could we get a little bit more extension on this move? I mean, that's asking for a lot. That's a big move. That's about $300. Volatility expanding, momentum to the downside. We don't have any hidden bullish divergence, do we? Price is making lower lows. RSI is making higher lows. Yeah, going back all the way from here, this point. But we'd have to confirm a local low. And where would I say invalidation for this move is going to come? And really, any kind of a 4-hour closure back above 1795 would invalidate that move. Otherwise, I would expect, more de-risking, more people just saying, hey, look, I'm going to de-risk as the stock market is probably going to melt down and give us another test down, right? What does the weekly look like? Massive rejection, lower high. And so we're looking for a lower low. And I think stock market wants to come down to 11,400 at a minimum. That's 1, 2, 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence. So if we can base out here and confirm this as a local low, we can still potentially bounce and get a move back up to that support. However, what do I think's more likely than not, given the inflation numbers, given how some of the major tech stocks are really just giving up a lot of their rallies. Let's take a look at Tesla really quick. I want to jump in there and take a look at good old Tesla. I think Tesla does trade on some of these exchanges. That's interesting. Why don't we look at it on FTX, TSLA? So you can trade Tesla on the weekly time frame, and volatility is increasing. The daily expansion to the downside, I think Tesla's coming down to about 620. If you ask me, that, you know, any kind of a 4-hour closure, volatility is expanding. We are crossed to the upside right now. So are we getting a little hidden bullish divergence? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. So probably bounce first. You know, any kind of a bounce below, you know, this last lower high right here coming in at 730 is just another lower high. And I would expect another lower low to follow that guy. Anyways, we don't normally look at stocks, but I thought I'd just bump into Tesla. Let's take a look at a few altcoins besides Ethereum. One I've been watching to the downside is Avalanche. Why it was a strong gainer last year, strong gainer. And so it had massive, massive gains. And, you know, when you have massive gains, you have also the opportunity or potential for massive losses to the downside. So, you know, this thing could go as low as $10. Just revisiting the support there, and with a weekly closure, you know, really below this low right here, this pivot, this last week low, $20, 2020, any kind of a weekly closure below there. And yeah, I do think this one's going to come down a bit lower. Another highly esteemed piece of internet technology. What else do we have here? Sandbox. We've been watching this one all since last year. It was a big gainer last year. A lot of people made a lot of money. Looks like this wick does want to get filled in at 89 cents on the weekly closure. The daily, again, these things can really start to bleed it out. As you can see, Bitcoin down 2.9%, but AVAX is down 8%, Sand's down 5%, Ethereum's down 6%. And that's why we're seeing Bitcoin dominance shoot up here. As Bitcoin dominance shoots up, well, it will soak up the gains from the Satoshi pairings. That is the, you know, the altcoins that are paired in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, when Bitcoin dominance goes up, typically Bitcoin will outperform the altcoins. All right, that's it for today, guys. Again, if you did like the video, please feel free to go ahead and hit that like button. Let us know. Post a comment below. If you do want to find out how to invest in cryptocurrency using your IRA or your 401k, we have a free link in the description below. Check it out, give us some feedback, and have yourself a blessed day. Take care.